Hello and welcome to this video on the basics of GitHub Actions and using it for a CI, which is continuous integration. And I'll use it for a Python project and making it a very, very simple one so that you can understand the concept. Let's move on to the web browser first. So here in the web browser, we have GitHub repository that I'm creating. I've called it GitHub Actions _demo, and then I've done it as a public repository and add README file and git ignore Python. So I'll create the repository. And after creating the repositories, we copy this URL so that we can clone it. So my terminal, I will do git clone. Then I will do code tab actions demo. This opens up Visual Studio Code. Basically, this is an empty repository. I just started it, right? So let's start with new terminal. And here, let's create some files. So make dir tab. You need to have a GitHub folder because here you will have all your workflows. Inside of the workflows, you have your YAML files, which contains jobs. And in the jobs, you have several steps. These are the steps that you want to do for automating things that happens whenever you're having some kind of trigger event. And a trigger event could be, for example, a pull request or a push event. Whenever that happens, you want something to happen. For example, you want to have different lintings, you want to have auto formatting, you want to have code testing, so testing, unit testing, etc. So these are possible, doing it automatically so that make sure that all of the tests and all of the linting and formatting all checks have passed. If they have passed, you will allow it to automatically allow it for merging. If they do not pass, then it shouldn't be allowed to merge, right? So let's continue now. Inside of the GitHub folder, I'll go into .github. And inside .github, I will create another folder called workflows. And inside of this folder, I will do touch workflows /ci.yaml and then code ci.yaml. Okay, like this. I will increase this a little bit. And then we'll write some code for things to happen. And what do I want to happen? Let's create a name for this CI. I'll call it Python project CI, continuous integration CI. So this is just the name of this YAML file, and I will have on. So here we specify what will happen on a trigger, right? And on an event. So we have on pull requests, then something will happen. I want the branches on pull request on the branch main. If that happens, then I want things to happen. And what do I want to happen? These are the jobs. And inside of the jobs, we name the job. So I will call this job lint. And on this one, I will do runs on. So this is an environment that will spin up inside of, so it's a virtual environment in GitHub that will be spun up. And after that, there will be a lot of checks to be run, right? Ubuntu latest. So I want to have a Linux environment and I choose Ubuntu here. And then we have the several steps. First of all, you need to check out the code. In order for us to test or lint our code, we need to check it out, similar to as you do git checkout. And this is so common action steps that there is an action that is found inside the marketplace. If you search for GitHub Market, so you have marketplace, then there's a lot of actions that you can choose, you can search for. Let's see, GitHub Marketplace. Yeah, exactly. And I'll search for checkout, right? And here you can see the checkout and you can see how to use it. So this is checkout version 4 and usage, you can see how to use it. So basically uses action / checkout at v4. There's a lot of documentation here, which you can read about on your own for different options to use. However, I'll just use the simple one. I'll do like this, uses, actions slash checkout at v4. So then I pick the version 4 checkout, and these are basically the code for checking out my repository when I do my pull request. Okay, so let's continue now with the next step, and this step I will do setup Python. And inside of this step, in order to set up Python, we have uses, and similarly you can search for that action as well. I have searched for it. So it's called actions slash setup dash Python, and you choose the version, and I choose version, or I've seen the version is 5.3.0, and then with this the version of the Python that you choose. So the Python version, as I am using 3.11 in my system, I can see if I'm doing that Python dash version. Yeah, you can see 3.11, so I will use 3.11 here as well. 3.11, so it's important that this matches the one you use in your system so that it checks correctly. And then the next step, name. Now I want to install some packages. So what do I want to install? Let's call it install dependencies. And then we'll do run. So run command is basically just running command line bash commands. And as we have installed Python, we have pip installed, right? So then we can use pip. So starting with this vertical line, vertical bar, it means that we can have multi-line command. So I will do pip install dash upgrade pip. So I'm upgrading pip, and then I'll do pip install dash r requirements.txt. This means that I need to do freeze requirements so that I have a requirements file, and then I will install based on that because I need the requirements in order to work with my code, right? Okay, after that one, we'll go into the next step, name. And the next step, I will run Flake 8. So this is a linting tool, which is used for checking for stylistic so that the style is correct, and checking for if you have imports that you're not using, then it will fail in case you do have that. So you need to have imports that you're actually using and variables that you're actually using. These are for cleaning up so that you have a good code base. When you have Flake 8 installed, you can run Flake 8. And basically what I do here is I'll run Flake 8 with, I'll do dot actually, so that I will pick everything in this folder. And then you'll see, okay, maybe we have uv.venv. So if you have a virtual environment folder, you don't want to run Flake 8 on that. So you could use exclude. However, we're not pushing the virtual environment to GitHub. Thanks to gitignore, we don't need to do that exclude here. Run everything in this folder, and in the subsequent folders I will run Flake 8 to check if there's any errors, check for linting issues, and then the next one is to run black. And black formatting, it's for making everything formatted according to Python recommended style. We can do check dot. This means it will check that it has been formatted according to this particular style. If it has not, it won't pass. So this is as simple as that. We have our ci.yaml file. This will be run whenever we do pull request into main. So let's start with creating some files here now. So I will create, for example, a plot file or a draw graph.py. So import matplotlib .pyplot as plt, import numpy as np, import pandas as pd, and then df equals pd.dataframe. Let's see, x colon, let's see, np.array 1 to 3, and then comma y, and let's see what y should be, np.array, let's see, 2,3,5, for example, and then basically just print and also plt.log df of x and df of y, and then plt.show. Okay, so let's try to run this and see what we get. So first of all, in order to run this, we need to go out. So now I'm inside of my root folder, and I'll do uvvnv to create my virtual environment. So now I've activated my virtual environment. So do uv pip install. What do I need? I need pandas and matplotlib because it installs numpy as well. So basically this one I can run now. So if I do python draw graph.py, it runs it, and yeah, it's coming out soon. And here you can see the graph. Cool, that was really cool. So I need to also install some packages that I want to use. So uv pip install Lake 8 and black, because these I need to use in my CI, right? So if I open up my terminal and I do, for example, let's see, source dot, let's see, if I do black dot, for example, you can see I don't have a black, because if I go into this terminal, because we have a virtual environment, if I do black dot, what will happen? It auto formats it. You can see that it has been formatted. Before formatting it, I will do Command Z, and you can see it looked like this before. But when I do black dot, it formats it. Yeah, it takes some time, but it left it. Okay, so now I've formatted it with black. For example, if I do this and save it, and I do black dot, and you can see it has auto-formatted. So let's do Command Z. So this is, say that I've left my file like this, and also I will do another thing. If I do flake 8 dot, what will happen? It will complain on different things, I think. It's actually quite slow. Or did it get stuck? I clear the terminal. Yeah. Oh, because the virtual environment. Yes. So it checked a lot in my virtual environment. So if I do 8, this is no problems when we actually have we have it in GitHub, because we don't have a virtual environment pushed up there. So if I just do flake 8 draw graph, and you can see here, okay, there's some issues here, white space after this bracket here, and there's issue too many blank lines here, right? Okay, so I'm creating this branch, and I will do git add dot, git commit -m, and I will do badly formatted file, git push origin ci test. Okay, so I push it to my branch. So if I move on to here, you can see in the pull request, I could basically create pull request. But before doing that, I will go into settings. And here in my branches, right? In my branches, I'll add branch rule set, and I will protect the main branch. Actually, I will go back. I will do classic main. And then here, let's see what we can do. Require status check to pass before merging, and I will check this one as well, and I will choose which one I want. Lint. However, there is an issue here. It cannot find, if I do main and I require this one, and if I search on lint, it won't find anything. So this one won't work now. Let's move on to start, because we need to push this GitHub, this CI YAML file first. So let's compare and pull request. Badly formatted file, create pull request. So it's checking for ability to merge automatically. Okay, so it doesn't go through because I don't have my CI file yet. I don't have my workflows yet. So I will confirm this one and merge it. Okay, so now if you look here, now I have this GitHub .github.workflows ci.yaml. Actually, this is wrong. It should be here. This one should be in. Okay, let me fix that. I'll move this one into workflows and replace that one. Yes, correctly. So now I will git commit. Let's say, what do I want to commit? ci.yaml fixed. And then I will do git push origin ci test. Okay, so now I push this one up. So if I'm updating this one, I go to pull request, new pull request. Okay, as you can see, there's no checks running now because we don't have it in our workflows yet. But now I merge it in. Okay, so now let's go on to settings and go into our branch protection now. So branch protection, edit this one. And now let's search for lint. And you can see there's a lint here. Cool. And you can see that this is from GitHub Actions. When we go into the code, we go into workflows and CI YAML, you can see that this is the lint, right? This is the job lint. And the checks need to be passed from the job lint in order for it to accept this pull request. Let's see, let's go in here and I will go back to Visual Studio Code and I will touch this a little bit also. Okay, let's continue git commit badly formatted code, git push origin I test. Moving on to GitHub, let's go into pull request and the new pull request. We'll go from CI test into main and create. You can see there's a little bit difference here. Create pull request. Now something happens. This is cool. Automatic checks. As I'm admin, I can actually merge without waiting for requirements to be met, but this can be set in the branch rule so that you cannot bypass it. Go into your branch set rules and make sure that you cannot bypass it. I won't do that because I don't have that much time. I'll go into details here to see what failed. What did fail here? Error, could not open requirements file. No such file or directory requirements.txt. Basically, I forgot to do this. let's see, cd up so that I'm in, no, I'm actually into the GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions, like this. So here, breeze requirement.txt. Okay, so let's do git add, git commit badly formatted code. Yes, do that. And git push origin CI test. Okay, now the requirements is going up. This previously failed. If I open this again. And now this is interesting because now it's running. So we can go into details. And you can see all the requirements have installed correctly. Good. But probably something else will fail now. Okay, Flake8 failed. Okay, good. Because if it failed, you can see process completed with exit here. And you can see that you need to clean up your code before sending it in. So we're blocking the merge. So the merge does not work, right? Unless you bypass the rules. All checks failed, I cannot merge it. So let's fix this. I will save and I will just check it manually, locally, and it doesn't complain. Good. If I do black draw graph, one file left unchanged. Good. So this I think should work. So git add and then git commit, let's see, fixed formatting like this, and then push origin. Okay, good. Then I'll go back here and now it is this pull request. Let's see. Yeah, this pull request. Yeah, it is run on this same pull request. Now let's see what happens. It's running, installing dependencies. And then it will run flake 8, and it passed. This one passed, and black also passed, and this post checkout code passed. Great. Then moving back here, you can see, yeah, all checks have passed, and you can merge your pull request perfectly. So now this has been merged, and you can see, it is inside here. So now we can see our draw graph. Yeah, it works. It's in here, and all the checks have passed. And this is quite interesting. However, can we do better? This is quite good already. But we have to go back and do another step, right? We have to go back and basically do flake 8 and do black formatting manually. But in case you want to skip the manual step, you can go into creating using something called pre-commit. So let's do that. That is happening before you're committing your code. It will check for black. It will check for flake 8, and you can add other things such as iSort that will sort your packages. You can also check for a lot of tests, etc. There's different hooks that will be checked automatically before you commit. And in case it fails, then your commit will fail. You don't need to have your check inside of GitHub. You have this extra step to check your code before committing. So that sounds really promising. So let's do that. Okay, and we have installed that one. And then we create a file called .pre-commit-config.yaml. And here you pick a lot of tools. I'll just copy from my lecture notes here. So you pick different repos that you will use. For example, black repo here, and here you have a hook to this repo, and it will run the black formatting code. This one will run flake 8, and it will check for that one. And this one will run the iSort. So basically like this. Okay, let's check what happens when I'm trying to commit. So for example, I will do another import OS. I'm importing something that I won't use. So let's try to commit this one. Git add dot, git commit. Let's see, commit badly structured. Like this. It worked for some reason. I need to commit this one first, actually, in order for it to work. Okay. Git push origin EI test. It works, but let's do another thing. Let's do like this, and let's continue. Git add, git commit like this. Oh, it worked. Wait a minute. I will debug and see what I've forgotten. Okay, right. I forgot one thing. Commit install. You need to install it so that it put in something called hooks inside of .git. So now we have this automatically checking. So remember to pre-commit install. Okay, so now let's continue sabotaging this. Git add, and then git commit badly structured file. Now you can see a lot of things happened. Right. First, black. Files were modified by black because it failed. So black formatting failed before, so you can see it's auto-formatted. Cool. And then flake 8, it failed. So it says that OS imported but unused. So OS is unused. Remove OS from here. Okay, I will save this one and I will clean this up. So if I run it again, git add, now better structured file. Okay, you can see, ooh, black passed, flake 8 passed, iSort passed. Cool. And now we can git push it. And you can see that this has been much better formatted now. And as we have already passed flake 8 and black, then this probably will pass our CI as well. So let's go into pull request. New pull request, and we do from CI test into main create pull request. Yeah, create pull request. And we can see our details. It's not finished yet, but here we have details. Let's see what happens. It's installing a lot of packages, then it will run Flake 8 and it will run black. Yes. And it has all passed. Cool. It passed and we're good to go. So merge pull request. Yes, perfect. You can see that the code, they have sorted my packages alphabetically. The linting has fixed, etc. Thanks to pre-commit. Cool. In this video, you have about very simple CI using just the linting and code formatting, using GitHub Actions for your repository and doing pull requests, but that will also work when you're doing push to a certain branch if you choose that instead of pull request. Or some other events. We have tested out pre-commit so that we can protect against before having some hooks for these tools to do these checks automatically before we're committing. This is quite cool. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one where we'll go into continuous deployment with CD. So then we have CI/CD. So cool. Thank you. See you. Bye.